I need to be careful what I say right now. I should be embarrassed of what I do. I really want to bring awareness to the controlling side of this industry. There are some people who are influencers that maybe aren't a good influence, that I just thought I was gonna die all the time. Good morning everybody, how are we all doing? I am about to get myself ready and I thought today we would have a catch up, and basically I've asked on my Instagram for some very deep, juicy questions maybe I haven't answered, just things that maybe you've wanted to know that are a bit more in depth that maybe I haven't spoken about on my vlogs, because I have done a lot of vlogging recently and it's nice to do these videos sometimes to have a catch up and like talk a little bit more in depth about things. So we're gonna get ready together and we are going to chat together. Now today I'm feeling a little bit funny because I have a very stressful day ahead of me tomorrow. Unfortunately, for certain reasons, I can't disclose exactly what's happening. It's not stressful in a good way. And yeah, it's just a little bit of a funny, strange situation. Sorry to be so like discreet, but I'm only being like that because I could get in trouble. But basically the thing that I spoke about last year that is businessy, it's that thing. Probably I'm not even supposed to tell you that, but I'm just at a point where I'm like, I just can't cope anymore. Anyway, sorry, that was a really annoying intro. How are we all doing? I hope you're all well. I'm sure I will settle into just having a chat, but I wanted to do this today as well because I feel like when I do these videos, I just kind of switch off and get in the zone and just, I like chatting to you lot, so. Anyway, so let's start. I had a quick look through the questions earlier. There are some fun, there are so many actually, but there are some juicy ones. There are also some kind of more assumption-y ones as well, where people are assuming something about me that is a little bit uncomfortable, so yeah, we're just gonna have a skim through, pick some, have a chat, do our makeup, get ready, be together on this day where I'm not feeling 100%, but it's fine. Anyway, okay, let's start with our first question. You already married Niall in secret, but you're still gonna have your wedding next year too. Do you know what? This did cross my mind, because I have seen a couple of people do this. Oh, I'm gonna get my, I haven't put this on at the right time. It's fine. I'm not gonna like run through all of my makeup with you because it is basically what I did on holiday in Ibiza. So if you want to see my actual like full-on routine at the moment, I did quite a drunk, but I thought it was quite a well-explained routine. I'll link the video down below because yeah, show everything. I'll show you a few bits, but I'm not gonna like run through everything because it's more about the questions today. Did we get married? No, we haven't already got married in secret. I have seen a few people do that whose weddings have been postponed and they've just kind of like had enough. I did see one girl who, I think her wedding got postponed now for 2 years and she decided to elope and have a big party next year, so she didn't tell anyone she was having the wedding and suddenly she was married, and I thought that was really cool. And also Proudlock and Emma, they did that too at Christmas time, and I think there's like a little bit of kind of excitement in that, and I think it's just such a story to tell about how you got married. However, we haven't done that. We didn't secretly, I see there was a few people that wrote this actually, but no, we haven't secretly got married in Ibiza. That's what some people thought, although that would have been quite nice. We are still getting officially married next year. I would tell you. I think I would find it really difficult to keep it a secret personally because I'm such an open book on my YouTube channel. Maybe on Instagram it would be quite easy, but on here I think it would just be like, I don't know. I'm not very good at keeping secrets on YouTube. Have you ever worried about breast cancer because of your mum? So my mum had breast cancer when I was 15/16. And obviously breast cancer can be genetic. It wasn't actually the genetic type that my mum had. So there's 2 different types, I think. I'm not like a pro at this, but we obviously had to have this conversation because if she did have the genetic type, they always test like quite often then, I think, the children or people, you know, related. But no, hers wasn't a genetic one. Obviously I could still get it, but it wouldn't be linked through genes. So I mean, yeah, I do get worried about cancer and breast cancer, and especially because I experienced it firsthand with my mum and watched her go through it, and like watched her sit and have chemo and stuff, and it was really, really just so much. I don't want to say like it's a lot for me because I wasn't the one that had cancer, but then again, it is also a lot for the people around, you know, the person who has cancer who's, you know, related to them or whatever, because it's just a huge deal for everyone, because it's just, yeah, I mean, you know what I mean. But obviously I wasn't the one with actually with cancer, but it does worry me. I used to be, actually I don't think I've ever told you guys this, I used to be such a nervous kid, right, that I just thought I was gonna die all the time. And I think lots of people, more than I thought, think like this too, or did think like this. I don't think like it anymore. Occasionally, I feel like only the past few years actually, I've stopped being quite so nervous in this way, where I just literally always thought, am I going to be alive next year? Like every year. It was so weird. But I remember, especially when I was like 12, I'd say, or maybe a little bit younger, maybe 10. I remember I was doing like the town pantomime, I was dancing in it, and I loved it. It was like the best thing ever in my life. But I always remember thinking, it's okay, you're doing it this year, but maybe you won't be alive next year to do it next year. I just really vividly remember thinking like that, and it was so odd. But I was a very, very anxious child. I was petrified of so many things, and I used to like do that thing where I would tell myself I was going to die if I didn't do certain things, like rituals, where I would go around my room before I went to bed, check there wasn't anything in the wardrobe, under the bed, and then I'd be like, if you don't go, in my head I would tell myself, if you don't go back and check again, then you're going to die. And I know lots of people have this, and my mum was explaining to me it is essentially OCD. As I got older I kind of grew out of it, but I feel like a lot of people, I know some of my friends still have that. But yeah, I don't know how I got into that, but basically I was a very nervous kid, and I do worry about illnesses. But as I've got older, probably only the past couple of years, I try not to think like that, because I want to live and not live in fear of dying, because then you're not really living, you know? And I think a lot of people still live like that, and it's something that I think my mum as a therapist talks to a lot of people about. But it's so good to try and get past it, because you're kind of preventing yourself live to the fullest, because you're always worrying about, what if I die, or I'm gonna die, or you know what I mean? But yeah, I'm trying to not live in such an anxious way anymore. So yeah, this is the thing with me doing a Q&A. I can't just do like a quick answer. I've got a whole story to tell you about everything. Anyway, let's move along. Your recent vacation that you just cost you £8,000. No, our holiday to Ibiza did not cost anywhere near £8,000. That is extreme. And also yeah, I mean, that's just a really, really, really expensive holiday. It was expensive because we were away for 2 weeks. We've never actually done that. We've never gone away for 2 weeks. It wasn't £8,000. It was much less than that. But Ibiza is quite expensive. I would say that, because we were thinking that while we were there, because we usually go to Greece. Everything is just a lot more expensive in Ibiza, I think, because it's just much more built up and popular. So yeah, but it's very, very, very nice, and I 100% am hoping we're gonna go back for a tiny trip. You ended on bad terms with Gymshark and do not get along with them now. I don't know why people always think this. I have said this before. I wear their stuff all the time. I worked with them on one of their recent campaigns. I love them. They're one of the nicest companies I have ever worked with, and that is me telling you the truth. I would not say this unless I was telling you the truth. I just wouldn't talk about it. I mean, I wouldn't go and like slag off a brand, because it's quite unprofessional to do that, but I equally wouldn't go out of my way to be like, they're lovely, if they weren't lovely. But yeah, they are so lovely, and like I said, the guy who managed me within Gymshark, he is coming to our wedding. He came to our wedding party. I still love them so much. I think they're just, they're such a inspiring company, because I feel like Ben Francis, for one, has just absolutely smashed it. I mean, look at him. And he's also so nice. I've met him and had one-to-one conversations with him, and he's so lovely. Probably quite rare, because I have come across some businessmen who are not lovely. I will always love them, I think. They were a huge part of my starting within this job, and they were the biggest thing I wanted to achieve when I fell into this job. That's what I was gonna say, is I feel like they're so inspiring because they listen to feedback and where people are sort of calling them out on certain things, and they move with the times, they expand, and they make their company, I can't think of the word, it's not coming out right, but they're with it. They do good things. I can't think of what I want to say. You know what I mean. I just didn't want that tie, because when you're an athlete you kind of do have a lot to fulfill all the time, and I wanted to do my own stuff, and I wanted to, you know, just not be so closely linked to one company. I wanted to be me. And sometimes when some people were just sort of seeing me as a Gymshark girl, and I wanted to just be Megan, you know. Okay, moving along. Who is more likely to cheat, you or Niall? Savage. I don't think either of us, but probably if we're gonna say someone, I would probably say Niall, just because I saw a meme earlier and it was so true. Like, wait, let me just try and find it, because this is literally me. How do you all date multiple people at once? I'm attracted to one person every 7 years, which is so true. Like, I'm literally never attracted to anyone. And I think, well, my best friend Holly is like that too. She just doesn't find that many people at all attractive. And I literally have found 2 people in my lifetime that I've come across where I've been like, wow, I like you a lot. I just don't really get the vibe off that many people, so I just can't imagine me jumping ship ever. I mean, not that I can imagine Niall jumping ship either, but I feel like I don't know, he doesn't really have that quite as much as me, but I don't think he will jump ship. I don't want this to come across as me thinking, oh, maybe he's gonna cheat on me, because I would not be marrying him if I thought that. What do you and Niall have different views on? So I feel like we have different views on quite a lot of things. Yeah, I mean, I'm a super girls girl. I mean, not that he isn't, he's very good at, he's not like old school where he doesn't understand, you know, the views of women these days and feminism and stuff, but I feel like I've had to teach him a little bit about certain things, and some of his views I think are still a little bit dated, and I know some of you have mentioned, I think in a video a while ago, where some of the things he was saying about sex and stuff. But yeah, I think our views can be slightly different with some things like that, and also some of the people he likes to listen to on podcasts are not my favourite people in the world. I mean, he loves Joe Rogan. I'm not saying I don't like him, because I don't really know much about him, but some of the things I've heard him speak about, he doesn't really listen to him anymore, actually, to be fair, which I'm quite glad about, because some of the things he says, I kind of walk past and I'm like, really? I think he's quite old school in a lot of his views, but then, I mean, I'm not here to judge, because I don't really have a clue, to be honest, but I've just heard some things he says and thought, no. So yeah, I'd say there's certain things we have slightly different views on. However, Niall is, not that my way is the right way, because that sounds like what I'm saying. He's learning, and he's learned a lot. And he actually, this is a good scenario to explain to you. When we were in Ibiza, there was a man that said to a girl at the football that she should not, well, she was going crazy because she was enjoying it. And then this guy said to her, what do you know, you're a woman? Which, I mean, come on now. But anyway, she came and sat next to me and told me, I told Niall, and Niall told the guy, come on, Han, we're in 2021 now. Why should a woman not be able to watch football? Why do you even have that view? So, yeah. Do you mind that it's mostly girls commenting under Niall's photos? No, I don't at all, because I don't think it's in that way. Niall does food online, and you know, a lot of the stuff we do together as well, you know, like on my vlogs. So I know a lot of like you guys comment and follow him. He does have some guys as well, but Niall's content isn't super kind of, I don't know, it's just focused on food. Not that guys aren't into food too, but yeah, I think because of that, there's just more female commenting. We just don't really have jealousies like that in our relationship, luckily. We did more at the start, but we have been together for nearly 7 years now, and yeah, like I said, it's never really like that when a girl comments on his post. Like, if a girl did think he was fit, I'd be like, yeah, he is, isn't he? Why didn't your mum let you get vaccines as a child? My mum's similar. So, explained in a video not that long ago that when I was saying how I was gonna get the vaccine, and it was my first vaccine, because when I was a baby, my parents didn't get any vaccines for me. And the reason that is not because she didn't let me. I was obviously like, I don't know, a few months old, obviously, when you get those initial vaccines. Basically, at the time, and I remember on that video lots of you said your parents were actually the same, but at the time there was this myth that's now been proven a myth, that vaccines were a trigger for autism. Well, not a trigger, but I can't think of the word, but they created autism, or I don't know, something along those lines. But lots of people at that time in life were not giving vaccines to their babies. I mean, lots of people were, but lots of people weren't as well. And now, like, my parents are like, yeah, go and get them if you want to get them. But it wasn't that she didn't let me. She's not like super anti-vaccine or anything, although she's not massively into it. She's very into homeopathy. She got her vaccine, I've got my vaccine. It wasn't that she didn't let me. Okay, I'm trying to make my answers a little bit shorter, because then we won't be here for hours and I won't be editing hours worth of footage. Will we ever know what happened last year that someone was harassing you? So there's been a lot of, I feel like this is probably the one I saw come up most. So basically, on my story, this is why it's come up again, because on my story I've mentioned it. Last year I did mention that I was going through some stuff to do with business, which I wasn't really allowed to explain in detail legally, and I wish I could, because it's been such a huge stress on life the past year, and it's been going on for so long. Well, it's more than a year. It's been going on for so long, and it just makes me very anxious when I think about it / talk about it. Never want people to have to go through this as well, and it's never been spoken about publicly, this, I don't think. So I feel like I really want to bring awareness to the controlling side of this industry. That's probably me oversharing. I need to be careful what I say right now. I think you'll be an overprotective mum based on the fur babies. Do you know what? I don't know if I will, because I'm not a super protective mum with, well, I mean, I am. I'm a worrier. I'm not like overprotective. I'm just a worrier, and yeah, I want them to be okay. I can't imagine what it must feel like to have kids, because I worry all the time, especially about Bluebell, because she is literally like a little human. And like when we went away and she sat at the window and watched me leave, I just cried my eyes out and ran back in the house to give her a hug, because I was worried she was worried, even though she's a dog. But I wouldn't say I'm so much overprotective. I think Niall might be a little bit more overprotective than me, but I mean, I will be a little bit, but my mum was such a sort of chilled, natural, you know, easygoing mum, and I hope I get that from her, because she like gave birth to me by herself. I mean, not that I'm saying I will do this, but I was obviously her second child. Her first child, she did give birth in hospital, but being her second child, she had me at home like unplanned. It was just me and her, literally, and she really feels like that is why we're so close, because when she gave birth and I was there, it was just me and her, and she feels like she has this bond because of that that's really deep. What has that got to do with the question? How did I even get on that then? But yeah, basically I hope that I am super I hope that I'm a natural mum, and I feel like I am quite a maternal person. I'm so maternal with my dogs, even though I know they're dogs, but also like Bry's baby I am obsessed with, and I just felt so normal just like being with her. And I was quite worried actually when I first met my best friend Bryony's baby, because I haven't really been around a lot of small babies. Niall has much more than me. He's very, very natural because his brothers and sisters are all way younger, and he's like spent a lot of time with young children, and I haven't spent a lot of time with like newborn babies, so I was quite nervous. And then as soon as I met her, I just felt so normal, and I like rocked her to sleep, and like I would feel comfortable to, you know, just I didn't feel uncomfortable. I felt very comfortable and just loved it. So obviously that's not my own child, but I don't know why I'm even talking about this, because this isn't even a question, is it? But no, I don't think I'll be too overprotective. A little bit, but not too much. You aren't very romantic? Oh, I don't know why someone would think that. I'm actually very romantic, I think. I think I probably, well, I definitely was the more romantic one at the beginning of me and Niall, because he wasn't. I mean, he was, but I mean, I'm not going to go into it. Loads of people think that I just bring this up and Niall hates it, but he's joking when he says he finds it annoying, because we did have a rocky start and there's nothing wrong with that. But when I first met him, he hadn't really, you know, been in like a long-term relationship, and I think I was more romantic at that point. But I'd say he's actually probably maybe even got a little bit more romantic than me. But I love little things like just doing nice things for someone and setting up nice little dinners, or like, I don't know, just surprises, and being, I'm very cuddly. I'm a very cuddly person. I have to cuddle to sleep and everything, which I think people probably don't know. But we are a very affectionate couple. We just maybe don't, I mean, I think we do actually probably show it a lot more online than we used to, because we're much more comfortable on camera together now. But I do remember people being like, are you even affectionate together at one point? Because we didn't like over PDA online, because I don't like making people feel uncomfortable. I like being the couple with our friends where they don't feel like a third wheel, you know? You have a bad relationship within the style and think it's weird your friends collab with them. No, I do not have a bad relationship within the style. I loved working with them again. I think I have spoken about this before, but this is another thing that people do often assume. I think people just assume if you stop working with a company, it ended bad, but that's not all. Sometimes it is the case. But in style, it didn't end badly. I just didn't want to continuously launch collections personally, because it's a lot of work. I wanted to do other things again. Didn't want to push out too much fast fashion, but I do really love them, and I had so much fun doing them. It was, again, another massive dream of mine, and the owners of In The Style are really, really lovely, and yeah, it didn't end badly. You have a BBL. Do you know what? I had to think for a second what that meant. Brazilian butt lift. No, I do not have a Brazilian butt lift. I haven't had that one in a while, to be fair. No, I have not had a Brazilian butt lift. I have not had anything surgically enhanced on my body. Oh god, I'm not doing it. Oh gosh, I've made my eye very dark. No, I haven't had anything surgically enhanced. I did speak about this in another video recently. I used to be kind of, not anti it, but I just used to not really understand why people didn't like learn to love what they had. And I do still stand by that, but equally I do now understand a lot more from listening to different people why they do get work done. And if you've thought about it for a long time, if you're old enough to, you know that's what you really want, and if it's like a deep insecurity that you think it will make you happier, then everyone is entitled to do what they want with their body and their face and whatever. Personally, I don't think I mean, never say never, but there's nothing that I'm kind of like, oh, I really want to get that done. Like, I would love to have bigger boobs, but equally, I do not want to get my boobs done. There's actually a lot of, there's that illness, isn't there, to do with getting your boobs done that a lot of people are now talking about more. So that makes me very nervous about boob jobs. But equally, I just also don't really want bigger boobs than I don't want something that doesn't feel like me on me personally. But I would never ever judge anyone that got a boob job or, you know, surgery done, because if it makes you happy, it makes you happy. And we shouldn't judge what other people want to do with their own body, because it's not your body, it's their face. So yeah, I feel like I've definitely learned a lot more about why people do it now, and I don't feel like people should judge that, because people have their reasons. But I do also think, as I've said before, that we're not supposed to look perfect, and even though learning to love the bits you don't love so much about yourself is hard, I feel like we're supposed to look a little bit quirky. We're supposed to have little things about us that aren't like super straight or super ideal in magazines, you know? And I wish more people talked a little bit more about that, because I love a goofy smile. I love a smile that isn't like straight. I mean, I've spoken about this before, I'm sorry I'm repeating myself, but I thought on teeth are having a party down there, and I could do something about that. Maybe I will at some point, but it doesn't matter that much, you know? And I just think it makes my smile look like my smile, and if I change that, I'd lose that little bit of like quirk, and I feel like those little things are really endearing, you know? I ran out of memory, so I'm gonna move on to the next question. I'm gonna actually wrap this up soon, because I am such a blab and I just can't help myself. I swore to myself this would not be a 45-minute video, this would be a 20 to 25. But this is already looking like it's not gonna be. Your relationship with Niall's family isn't great. This is another thing that seems, oh hang on, where's my sharpener? There we go. Do you know, fun fact, Charlotte Tilbury lip liners, they don't actually work with any pencil sharpener except Charlotte Tilbury's. How clever is that? If you want someone to buy a sharpener, make it so it only fits around your lip liners. Wait, that doesn't make any sense. Make sure only your lip liners fit in that sharpener. That's what I'm going to say. A lot of people ask this just because they're not in my videos. Obviously, I film a lot with my family because they're my family. Niall's family are probably more quiet than my family. They maybe don't want a camera, you know, in their face. Niall's dad's side also live in France, so it's only Niall's mum's side that they live really close to us actually. But I just don't actually tend to be vlogging a lot when we see them. But equally, I don't want to just shove a camera in people's faces if they're not so much into that, you know? You still feel awkward vlogging in public even though you've been doing it for so long. This is an interesting one. So, do you know what? I don't, except when I'm on my own. So if I'm on my own, walking around the shops, I can't do it. And I don't know why. It's the same with storying and chatting on my story on Instagram. I just can't do it. I don't know how people do it. Like, I just feel like a idiot. It's annoying though, to be honest. With being, you know, an influencer, I sometimes do, not so much now because I am very comfortable with what I do. I feel very proud of Beyond and helping women, and, you know, I feel like I have a purpose at what I do. But I do remember at one point, and sometimes I still do feel a little bit like I should be embarrassed of what I do. I shouldn't, but it's because of the way an influencer is labelled and how there are some people who are influencers that maybe aren't a good influence, and so I get conscious that people would just box me like that if I met like a stranger and I was talking to them about, if I just said I'm an influencer. I don't really say that anyway, but I think actually that's what goes through my mind when I'm thinking, oh, I'm gonna stand and chat to the camera. I always think people are gonna look at me like I'm an idiot, which is annoying, because, and also I shouldn't feel like that because it's not, but it's just a little bit of an insecurity to do with with my job, because I don't know, you can get boxed, and there are people that do make the industry and the job look shit. You and Niall talked about having a baby soon during your drunken night in Ibiza. I was wondering when the baby questions are gonna come up. Yes, I think we probably did. We talk about it quite a lot. We're a very open couple. We talk about absolutely everything, and I'm so grateful for that, and I do feel like that is why our relationship works so well, because we do talk about everything. Like, it's not like I'm feeling like, oh, I'm almost ready to take that step, I hope, in my life, because as soon as I would feel that, I'd sort of bring it up in a conversation with Niall and get his gist on how he's feeling. But because we always have spoken very openly about our feelings and our thoughts and where we're at, everything seems to work really well with us. I feel so grateful to have met Niall, because I really do believe that he is my soulmate. As cheesy as that sounds, we just get on so well, and that is what all my family always says. They're just like, you just get on so well. I'm like, I know, and it's not just on camera, like we do genuinely just get on so well. Obviously we have arguments, obviously we bicker, but we just work so well together. I'm so grateful to have met him. And like, we even discussed on holiday how, imagine we hadn't met, and I said to him, like, if I hadn't met him, or if me and him broke up now, I can't imagine meeting someone. Obviously you never know, but I can't imagine meeting someone who I am that connected to ever again in my life, or that suited to ever again. Like, possibly I would, but I just feel like it can't get much better. As cheesy as that sounds, but yeah, I love Niall so much, and I just feel like we're a really good team, and I'm so grateful for that. Yeah, we talk about things like babies and when we hope to have them, and when we do, I will let you guys know. But obviously we are gonna be, if that happens, if we're lucky enough to have that happen, because there was a question that someone said, like, do you ever worry about fertility? Yes, I do, just because I don't know, and like, until you've had a baby you don't know how fertile, if you're fertile, etc. So yeah, that is something that crosses my mind, especially now I'm getting to that phase of my life where I am thinking about having babies. We do talk about having babies and when we'd like to have babies, and we're very much on the same page, and we have a time where we would ideally like to try. So yeah. What happened to the peach plan? There was a few reasons why the peach plan ended. Obviously now we have Beyond, and that's where I feel like my heart and what I believe in is now to do with fitness and health, and I don't feel like the message and the workouts were great at the peach plan, but I didn't like the brand anymore. I didn't feel like it aligned with me anymore. I didn't want to be just promoting a bum anymore, and I wanted, like, there was more to me and my business than that. I felt like it felt a little bit superficial to me near the end, and just very focused on bums, and I don't feel like that's necessarily even a good message with fitness, let alone just everything online. Anyway, I'm gonna love you and leave you and finish with that. I hope you enjoyed this little chat, long chat. Again, I'm gonna probably hopefully cut it down, but I am the biggest blab. But I have actually had a really nice time, and it's taken my mind off the nervous butterfly feeling I was feeling for tomorrow. So thank you for being here and being my distraction on a difficult day. I feel like we chatted about some good things too, so let me know if you enjoyed. Let me know if you have any opinions on anything I've spoken about. I feel like I'm much more open now than I was before, and I'm so glad that I have got over that, and I'm not just worried about everything and saying something that someone might not agree with, because that's always going to be the case, and you shouldn't worry about stuff like that, should you? I'm learning. I'm getting older. I'm getting wiser. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you're all having a lovely day, and I will see you very soon for another video.